Hello, YouTube friends. Today we will study Chapter 3 of the Tao Te Ching. To confuse people's minds. What makes our minds so confused? Have you all heard of the idiom, to confuse people's minds? The first character in this idiom is insanity. It is a legendary, artificially cultivated poisonous insect specially designed to harm people. This bewitchment was later used to describe people with bad intentions. Confuse people with something harmful. So are you living a good life now? I have a family, I have a house, I have children, I have a car. What else is needed for a happy life? But when you see the happiness of other people's families one day, your heart will be in turmoil. Seeing that other people's houses are bigger than other people's houses. When you return to your own home, you will feel that your house is small. Seeing other people's children doing very well in studies. When I got home, I felt that my child was not living up to expectations. Driving to work, going back to my hometown, and traveling are all very pleasant. But when I see other people's cars being more advanced than my own, there will also be some loss inside. A few days later, you see a quarrel at someone else's house. Suddenly, I feel like my home is very warm. I saw something happen to someone who lived in a big house. When I got home, I felt that a smaller house would be fine as long as it was safe. If you go to a children's hospital to visit a friend's sick child. When I got home and looked at my child, I suddenly felt that the child was very cute. Seeing people driving luxury cars rushing around all day without smiling faces. Suddenly, I felt like I had a car that could protect me from wind and rain. There is infinite warmth and happiness. You see, people's hearts are in comparison with others in the outside world. Keep turning up and down, and the above process will keep repeating. It's just hard to calm down my heart. It seems that what makes it difficult for our hearts to calm down are the people and things outside. In fact, it is because our minds are not determined. It's because our hearts lack the strength to compete with the outside world or to decipher these external manifestations. Yes, it seems that external people and things disturb our hearts. But the fundamental reason is still ourselves. The root cause of the troubled mood is not external, but there is something wrong with our own internal response. This is the root cause of all human problems. Then what should we do? Please take a look at the wise guidance that Lao Tzu gives us. The Tao Te Ching is known as the Eastern Bible in the world. It is also known as the first of all scriptures. Seeing the world together, life is like a container. The essence of life lies in what is put inside. The secret of destiny is that what you put into it, you will become. The pain of life is caused by the inclusion of low-level and dirty things. The awakening of life is knowing how to incorporate the wisdom of saints that has been tested for thousands of years into our lives. What makes our minds confused? What can the saint do to deal with it? Is there any fundamental solution? Then let us walk into the wisdom of Chapter 3 of Lao Tzu's Tao Te Ching. The original translation of Chapter 3 means as follows. If you don't respect the worthy, the people will not strive for fame. If you don't treasure valuables, the people will not be thieves and gain profits. If you don't reveal things that can arouse greed and selfish desires, the people's minds will not be confused and confused. Therefore, the sage's method of governing the country is to reduce the people's anxiety so that they can have food and clothing, and weaken the people's desires to strengthen their physique. It will always make the people have no knowledge and desire, and make those smart people dare not do things casually. If you implement the policy of inaction, the world will be stable and peaceful. Chapter 3 of Lao Tzu Tao Te Ching tells us, in my own life, there is no need to follow the stories of talented people and extraordinary abilities. There is no need to show off your special talents or compete for fame. There is no need to value those rare and expensive things. Don't reveal things that can arouse others' greed. In this way, perhaps our hearts will not be disturbed. So I tell us, also telling leaders, the principle for sages to govern the world is to keep your heart quiet, clean, and peaceful. Don't be filled with all kinds of desires. Let us appreciate and cherish the simplicity of our existing life. Don't always compare yourself with external people who are different from us. Let us always be self-reliant and self-sufficient. As a leader, don't use your own ideas to stimulate people's desires. Let them deviate from the right direction of life. As a leader myself, we must also do things according to the laws of the Great Road. Don't do it all, don't overdo it. In this way, a harmonious society can be achieved. In this chapter, Lao Tzu talked about two core ideas. To express it in the simplest two words. The first word is no. The second word is want. Let's talk about the first core idea first. That is what Lao Tzu calls the three no's. There is no leisure time, so that the people do not fight. Goods that are inexpensive and hard to come by will prevent people from stealing them. There is no limit to what can be desired, so that the people's minds are not in chaos. The problems described in these three no's mentioned by Lao Tzu, as in his ancient times. It seems to be the same today. There are three typical mistakes in life. This is something many people make. First, we are always comparing. Always want to be like others. Or just stick to who you are now. But few people have thought about it. How to make yourself the best version of yourself. Second, we always consider many external things, especially some babies, seeing it as more important than your own life. This got me into a lot of trouble. Third, we are easily attracted by external things, or temptation. Always make yourself lose peace of mind. Originally, my current life was good, but suddenly he became restless. In view of these typical mistakes made by people in reality, Lao Tzu gave people three pieces of wisdom guidance. First, we can learn from people who are better than us, but don't pretend to be someone else. Think about it. If we can't pass, learn from the strengths of others to improve yourself. Forgot everything I learned. It's all about making yourself better, so as to be the best. Then we will definitely feel guilty and upset. Throughout history, those who imitate others have not achieved great success. The second is not to take away those external things, or some treasure, seeing it as more important than life. Your life will become humble. It is also easy to get yourself into trouble. Third, don't think about taking advantage of all the benefits in the world. Otherwise, your current life will also become meaningless and meaningless. As long as a person is driven by greed, real life and your current life, that wonderful feeling will no longer exist. These three questions mentioned by Lao Tzu, and three recommendations. Can you integrate with your current situation? If you are a leader, you can use this principle to lead your subordinates, or the people. Now let's talk about the second core idea of this chapter. Just want it. It is the correct principle that we should follow. Judging from Lao Tzu's tone in this chapter, the content of this part, on the one hand, it reminds each of us. On the other hand, it also reminds leaders, from the perspective of each of us, to know how to be satisfied. Live a simple life. It is most in line with the principle of health preservation, if it is because of your own desires, and forget about their current life. Wouldn't it be wrong to lose the other? If we forget, everything you do is for life. We ourselves will definitely become slaves of desire. Isn't this putting the cart before the horse? From a leader's perspective, since as a leader, we must know how to guide people to the correct path of life. On the one hand, we must guide the people to learn the correct way of life. Don't blindly stimulate people's desires. On the other hand, as a leader, don't abuse your rights. Don't do things that go against the laws of heaven and human nature. Let people maintain the foundation of life. Being able to take one's own self-improvement as the core. Be able to cherish the life in front of you as the basis. Be able to pursue altruism and harmony as the realm and ideal of your life. On such a correct path, leaders can establish overall good order in a society. To summarize Lao Tzu's wise thoughts in this chapter, we can find out that what we are doing in reality is what I object to. What we want, what we are doing. Exactly what Lao Tzu tells us not to do and what not to do. From this point of view, without the wisdom and guidance of saints, we will only lose ourselves to pain and destruction. Now let me summarize in a few words. Dedicated to our YouTube friends. If you follow the actions of external objects, your own mind will become a slave. Because of external disasters, life becomes a puppet. Compared with others, morale is instantly balanced. Jealousy of the strong will detract from personal wisdom. Despising the weak will destroy personal morality. Being self-righteous and messing with others will lead to sin. Focus on your own mind. Be enlightened and strengthen yourself. It will save a lot of trouble. The three dimensions of life are equally interconnected and cannot be missed. If you don't realize it, you will be busy and erratic, and your life will not be good. In the final analysis, all human problems, the inside and outside of ourselves. It's a question of who decides who. On a realistic level, we are determined by external matters. Our lives have become fallen leaves in the wind and rain. At an ideal level, if you know that everything is determined by the law of the great road, Believe in the way, return to the way, practice the way. You can live a happy life if you don't pay attention to your own practice. I hope that external gods can bless me with peace and happiness. Our own hearts will take a crooked path, because the so-called gods, it is the objective road that we have not yet understood. That kind of objective law that restricts everything. If you can practice and understand the Tao and be with the Tao, that is to be with God. This is a wise and fulfilling life. I am in the next chapter. It reveals to us the dominating gods in all things in heaven and earth, including human beings. This is Lao Tzu's Eastern version of Genesis. Let us study Lao Tzu's Tao Te Ching today. Let's walk into Lao Tzu's new century together. Thank you for listening and accompanying me. See you next time.